You know, when I go out on consultations to meet with new clients for remodels, kitchens, bathrooms, or additions, I tend to hear the same things over and over again. People say things to me like, you know what, Beth, the house just isn't working for us anymore. Or we feel like we've outgrown the space. It's just too tight. Or it's just not functioning the way that we think it should function, and it's kind of making us miserable. Like, you know, if every time you're cooking in the kitchen with your spouse and they go to reach for something in front of you and you want to stab them in the neck with a fork, it might be time to think about a remodel. So I'm going to give you 5 things to consider whenever you're thinking about, hey, do I need a remodel? And these are real life things that I go through with real life clients all the time. So let's see if any of this resonates with you. So the first thing to consider if you're thinking about remodeling is, how's the space working out for you? Do you have enough space? And that means, is there enough room for all of the people living in your home to enjoy the basics that it takes to live? For example, do you have a good time cooking in your kitchen, or is your kitchen just absolutely miserable because it's too small? Same for your bathrooms. Do you look forward to going in there, having a quiet shower? Maybe you've got a bath and you want to soak for a little bit, and you know, nobody's pounding on the door to get in because you got enough room for everybody. You have enough toilets. That's an important thing. It's a big deal. When we have more people and more stuff, we tend to have more problems. And maybe you don't need to add on a whole new section of your house. Maybe you just need to kind of get rid of some stuff and reconfigure the things that you already have. And in that case, you know, you're probably looking at maybe a smaller remodel. Maybe you're just freshening some things up, moving some things around. And, you know, what I see a lot, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I see a lot of folks who are kind of right on the brink of being on that Hoarders TV show. And if you take a look around your house and you think, oh, the cameras could be pulling up at any time, you probably got to get rid of some stuff. And a lot of times, if you can just clean some of that stuff out and open your space up, it'll give you a whole new feeling about your home, and you can make decisions on if you want to remodel or if clearing out the stuff was enough. The second thing that I hear from people all the time is, I love my home. I love it. I don't want to leave it, but it's not functioning correctly. Everything seems tedious and hard. When I go to cook dinner, it's a struggle. Whenever I'm in the bathroom, I just feel like, you know, it's not working the way it should. I don't feel like the things are laid out correctly. I don't feel like I can relax when I'm here because things just aren't working the way they're supposed to. I actually hear that quite a bit. And oftentimes, I'll hear that when people call us out for additions. I think I need an addition. I think I need to blow my kitchen out. I think I need to blow my bathroom out. There's just no way in this space that I can get things to work the way I need them to work. And many, many times when I look around, I can see what the problems are. And often it is just a matter of functionality. Things that worked, you know, 10, 15, even 20 years ago don't necessarily work with today's lifestyle. I'm going to give you a prime example. I walk in so many people's kitchens and there are iPads, computers, phones plugged in everywhere, cords everywhere. And you don't think about it, but you know, your countertop space is a limited amount of space. It is, you know, high-end real estate, and what lives there should be things that help you function in your kitchen. It shouldn't be things that should be in your office or your bedroom or somewhere else. It should be kitchen items. So sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, let's readjust things, or let's swap out your cabinets and put in a charging station, something along that lines to help it function better. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to tear the whole house. You need to gut the whole house and start over. It just means that we need to make the spaces that you utilize all the time function better for you now. So thing number 3 to consider: how is the house wearing? Have you been in the home for a long time? Did you buy a home that somebody else already lived in and it already needed updating whenever you bought it? Things like extreme wear, cabinet doors not closing correctly, flooring that's very worn out, bathrooms where the tiles are cracking or the grout is falling out, or you're constantly fighting mold and mildew. That is not fun for anybody. And whenever we see those kind of things happening, yes, it is definitely time for a remodel. And again, you can go all out, you can gut the space, you can reconfigure, you can totally redesign it and start all over, or we can just take care of those things that I like to refer to as deferred maintenance, that may need some help. We just bought a new home, a used new home for us, back in December. We bought it from a builder. He built it himself. The bones are freaking amazing. It is everything we wanted. And also, he's elderly and probably hasn't really worked on the house in 3 to 5 years. And it's sitting out in the woods. So we have a ton of deferred maintenance. Some things did not function well for us. And at some point I will do a whole video on that and show you, how we had to reconfigure some of the rooms, the kitchen being one. And we really didn't have an option. We love to cook. Randy and I love to cook together. We're in the kitchen together all the time. We don't entertain a lot of people, but we do have my parents over and we do have friends over relatively often. We needed to make sure there was seating for everybody. And so there were just some things that did not function and were so broken that they couldn't be repaired. And so we were like, all right, let's gut it. We're going to gut it. We're going to rip it out. And we did that with both the kitchen and the master bathroom. And we are still in process of getting it all put back together. But I can already tell, man, this is going to be so much better. And we're so glad we made that choice. All right, number 4, the 4th thing to consider. And you know what? These are really in no particular order. They're just the order that made sense in my brain. So we're going to go ahead and call this one number 4 because it's the 4th one I'm on. All right. You have new additions to the family. If you have a new addition to the family, be it a child or maybe your adult kids are moving back in, or maybe your elderly parents are moving in, or maybe it's something as small as you got a new puppy, that changes the way that you live in your home. Listen, I've got a 4-year-old Australian Shepherd. He is the love of our lives. He is adorable. And he has 867 toys that have to have their own bin, and beds and rugs throughout the house because, God forbid, the dog should have to lay on a floor. And, water dishes everywhere. And when we bought the new house, we inherited a cat. And so now we're dealing with cat stuff and cat supplies. Whenever you have anybody come into your space, it is going to change the way you live in your space. There's just no way around it. The place where you set your bag every day whenever you come home from work, maybe the new person is setting something there. The drawer that used to hold all of your silverware, maybe now you need twice as much silverware and it doesn't fit anymore. There are so many changes that happen to us when new people come into our space. And oftentimes, again, we have to, at the very least, reconfigure. But often we do need to do a little remodeling to accommodate the new people who have come in. And in the case of, parents moving in with you or adult children, you may even want to go as far as let's not just, remodel, let's add on. We need an additional dwelling unit attached here that has a full kitchen, a full bathroom, and a bedroom for them, so they truly have their own space and we're not all right on top of each other all the time. And we see that a lot. We are in a retirement community here, and we are seeing more and more multi-generational living. Our adult son has autism. He lives with us. He's 23. He has an ADU in the basement. We have a full walkout basement, full daylight basement, beautiful space. And he has a full ADU down there. He is getting ready to go off to college in August. And while we will keep that space for him, it probably will change the way that we live in the house a little bit. I probably will be more inclined to go down there, especially in the summer whenever it's hot outside, and spend some time down there while I'm doing laundry and those kind of things than I am right now. So those kind of things, having additional people, pets, stuff come into your house really does change the way that you live, and probably a pretty good chance that you may need to do at least a little bit of remodeling. Okay, here we are, last one. So the fifth thing to consider is kind of the opposite of number 4. Instead of having somebody come in, maybe you have somebody leave, right? So maybe you had, a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom home, and 2 of those bedrooms were filled up with kids. And now the kids are leaving. And you had your kitchen all set up for 4+ people. And now it's just you, or it's just you and a spouse because everybody else has moved out. Those kind of things really change the way we live. Also, I will tell you this, we do see this with a lot of clients, that whenever the kids finally move out, a lot of times for years, the parents have been thinking about, man, what would I do when the kids are gone? I want to totally remodel. I want to blow this kitchen out. I want to redo it. I want to have higher end things now because I know everything will be taken care of. I want to have better appliances. I want things to function better. I want to put that soaker tub in my master bath because I plan on spending a lot of time in there relaxing because everybody's gone now. Those kind of things we do see a lot, and probably more than 50%, probably pushing 60% of the folks we work with are folks that are now empty nesters and are just really wanting to reconfigure, a lot of times, the majority of the house to make it more functional. You got 2 extra bedrooms. What are you going to do with that space? When we bought this new house, because Jake's got the ADU downstairs, now I had a whole room upstairs that was like, what are we going to do with that space? And I said, I'm gonna have a craft room. I haven't had a craft room for 15 years and I'm really stinking excited about it, because as we get older, a lot of us tend to really live in our houses more. I find that folks who are 60 and older kind of go one of 2 ways. Either they spend a lot of time at home or they're out traveling all the time and they could care less, right? So for those of us who plan on spending more and more time at home, man, you just want it the way you want it. And whenever that's the case, pretty good chance you're going to have to do some remodeling. Okay, so that's it. That are my 5 things to consider whenever you're thinking about remodeling. If you are thinking about remodeling and you are in the Baxter County, Northern Arkansas region and you'd like some help, please reach out to us. We absolutely would love to help you. Love to bring you in here to our beautiful showroom, give you some ideas. We are a full design build firm, so obviously we want to help you from the minute we walk into the door until your home is 100% complete. We are excited to work with clients and help them regain functionality and fall in love with their homes again. That's it. I will see you on the next one, and I hope you have a fantastic day.